On Saturday, November 2nd, starting at noon, Kevin Williams is helping sick kids by playing video games. He needs your help to raise $1,000 for the CHIO Foundation. Donate at extra-life.org/participants/347875.
Lights, camera, action. Cut!
Welcome to Ropes to Reels, part of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling, and wrestling is everything. I'm at Adam Conton.
At Sir F Word. You screwed up the name.
Did I?
Yeah, we're not Ropes to Reels right now.
We're not?
No.
What are we right now?
2 Ropes, 2 Reels.
Oh, that's right. It is 2 Ropes, 2 Reels month.
Which has me so excited.
And I feel like Reels should be spelled R-E-A-L-Z. 2 Ropes, 2 Reels.
Is it too bad to go 2 ropes, 2 wheels? Or is that just 2 on the nose?
I think that it doesn't matter. These movies are not subtle in any way, shape, or form, so why should the show be?
You have a very, 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 very valid point. Also, in the logo that I've designed in my mind, because I'm not a graphic designer by hand, the E's are wheels.
I like that. And if you want some graphic design work done, you should go visit our buddy Matt over at Last Matt Standing. He recently put out some work that he did, and we threw it up on our social media, which you can be a part of, by the way, by liking us on Facebook, Instagram, or on Twitter at WrestleMedia.ca. If you do have some design work needs, go see him. He's fantastic. He's done a lot of our designs as well, and he's a great friend of the show. So go check his stuff out.
I've met him, right?
You did, because you were with us at Chinlock.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
and he was there. He was actually a big hand in helping out with Chinlock. And guess what, Drew?
What's up?
That's not the only show that Chinlock has got going on this year. They're going to be back on August the 17th. And guess who's going to be right there with them?
Oh, you going to it?
We are going, yes. WrestleMedia.
Oh, am I going?
Well, you were invited.
Sweet.
You can come to these things. It's not like when we say, hey, we're going on tour, but not Drew. Drew is not allowed to come with us. Unless we're in a province where, you have a warrant out for your arrest.
No, that's only in America.
Well, then, okay. Then, as long as we stick within our home and native land, we're going to be fine. But yes, August 17th at the Chinlock Wrestling Academy in Napanee, over at 824 Palace Road, to be exact. We're going to be part of their Fallout event. CJ Felony will be defending the Cale Murphy Memorial Championship against Jan Murphy. That's right. The promoter is stepping into the ring for the first time ever to defend his brother's honor. It's going to be a great show. Now, it's not the only show that we're going to be a part of that weekend. August is going to be very, very busy for us, Drew. We are going to head up to Ottawa, the nation's capital, the Big O, as I like to call it. We can officially announce that we are going to be a part of the Fighting Back for Cancer event. This is one of the biggest events to happen in the province every single year. What a huge lineup. AEW talent all over this thing. Yeah. Cody, a.k.a. Cody Rhodes.
Really?
Joey Janela, MJF. The Dark Order is going to be there as well. All kinds of great teams and singles competitors as well. St. Anthony's Banquet Hall, 523 St. Anthony Street in Ottawa, Ontario. Fighting Back 9, August 16th, the day before the Chinlock show. Go check out c4wrestling.com for details. We're going to be there. 100% of the tickets sold go to the Canadian Cancer Society. I've been told the show has never sold out before. I want that to change this year. I want this to be a sellout. So go get your tickets right now. That's a huge weekend. The week before, you may be aware of this, Drew, WWE's putting on a little show in Toronto called SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And that means that there's a lot of wrestling happening in Toronto that week. And we are going to be a part of 2 of the biggest events that week, starting with the Union of Independent Professional Wrestling's Never Say Never event, Thursday, August 8th at the Transact Club, 292 Brunswick Avenue in Toronto. Visit WrestlersUnion.ca for more information. Don't forget to listen to The Lasting Mark, as we are going to be doing a contest exclusively with that show to give away a pair of tickets to the show. It is a 19-plus event. So if you are 19 plus, you definitely will enjoy The Lasting Mark and that show. So keep tuned for that. And then just 2 days later, on Saturday, August 10th at the Midtown Event Center, 2492 Yonge Street. If you're a fan of Women Crush Wrestling, make sure you come to the Summit. Smash Wrestling, Rise Wrestling, Shimmer Pro Wrestling, Femme Fatales, all bringing you a day of incredible women's wrestling action. Bull Nakano is going to be there for a meet and greet. Get your tickets now. Smash-wrestling.com. That's smash-wrestling.com. wrestling.com. Although Smash Dash Wrestling would be a
Smash
cool
Dash
name.
is amazing. I thought that
That's
was
a video game.
I thought that was a wrestler.
Isn't that a video game? Smash Dash or something like that?
I don't know. Was Stone Cold like a monster truck, or am I thinking of a different game?
I don't know, but now I want that. I want all of that.
Did you not hear about like there's a PS2 game where Stone Cold's in a monster truck, Undertaker's in I think a hearse, and Rob Van Dam is in something.
It's called Crush Hour.
Hey,
so I have heard of it.
Okay.
I played it. Maybe when we get a little bit of time, we'll do an episode for our YouTube channel, which, if you didn't know, by the way, you can subscribe to right now. Hit the notification bell so you know exactly every time we put out a new video. Maybe one of Drew and I playing Crush Hour. We should try to find a copy of it and just play it and see what we do. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think we should invite all of the WrestleMedia crew over and have a little tournament, Crush Hour tournament for 2 ropes, 2 reels at the end of this.
Oh God! Oh, that is actually perfectly poetic.
And do you know why we have to invite them all?
Why do we have to invite them?
Because nothing's more important than family.
What the heck did you say 2 weeks ago? It was a line that that's it.
My father. By the way, thank you so much for filling in last week.
No worries.
I busted a gut listening to some of the ideas that you put out there. The idea of Donald Glover with the New Day has to happen right now.
I know.
It
fits too perfectly.
It's the event we need, really, and the one we deserve, I think, as well. So thank you for putting that into my brain. All the WWE spies listening to this podcast right now, make that happen.
Don't write it. Just throw them in the ring.
I don't even care if he's promoting a movie. If this happens 6 months, I don't care. Just put Donald Glover in there with the New Day. For God's sake, make it happen.
Yeah, I filled in last week, and then this week I was late.
You were late, but to be fair, then I ended up being later.
Yeah.
Because I decided to take that extra time to pick up my wife from work. So
you have a much more valid of a reason, and one that won't make you sick to your stomach. Can I tell you why I was late?
Is it going to make me and the listeners sick to our stomach?
Depends. It maybe.
Does it involve depends?
No.
Okay. Well, then I say go for it.
It involves children, and children are both dumb and disgusting.
Is this story gonna end up with you having a warrant for your arrest in this province and country? Okay, then go forward.
And luckily, there's no bodily functions in this story.
Okay.
Which is not something I say very often.
Until you're done telling the story, and in which case we may be vomiting.
Fair enough. So, kids are stupid. Kids are very stupid. I'm going to pick up...
I want to quickly just say that these are the views and opinions of Drew Ferris, Answer F Word, not necessarily those of WrestleMedia as a whole.
Trust me, everybody out there, at least half people are going, yeah. But anyway, okay, kids are stupid. I'm going to pick up my girlfriend. She actually works with children. She has a heart of gold, willing to put up with all of their nonsense.
Right.
I don't.
Does she also share the view that kids are stupid?
Yes. She knows firsthand.
I apologize, Alex, if your employer hears this and then decides you're no longer fit for your job.
That's fine. Okay. So I'm going there. She works at a daycare. I'm picking her up, and I get a text on my phone saying, "Please help." Now this has happened to me a few times, and the last few times have been bodily functions. Though this time I get in there, and the parents are just kind of in a lineup outside of the door.
Oh, always a good sign.
And they're not being let in. I'm like, oh dear. What has happened? So I get my way in there. I don't know what animal does this, but when they were outside, the kids, they were playing around in the field. One of them lifted up some sand and noticed a pile of dead mice.
Okay.
So what these kids decided to do in that situation was to put at least 1 or 2 in their pockets.
Well, yeah, for later, obviously.
Yeah, just save it for, I don't know, their cats at home. So the kids come in there with these pockets full, and they said, we can't give them back to their parents with dead mice in their pocket. So they had
wait a minute, did they not just throw the mice away and then give them back to their parents?
The problem is, they didn't have trash at the time.
Wait a minute, what?
After every shift, they empty the trash.
Okay.
Okay, and the new bags get put in after all the kids leave because they're focused on the kids getting home, right?
Okay.
So, really all they could do. I don't know the specifics of this. All I know is it was now my job to grab one of the plastic bags that I keep in my vehicle. By the way, keep a plastic bag or reusable bag in your vehicle. You never know when it's going to come in handy.
Apparently.
So then we go there. I go up there with this plastic bag, and it's my job to take this pile of mice that they've emptied from these kids' pockets, put it in the bag, tie it up, and sneak around the parents without them knowing.
Was that the smell that you, like...
I told you shouldn't have shook my hand.
Did you bring a bag of dead mice into this house?
I didn't bring the bag. I brought the smell. Because there's no way you can get the smell of rodent out of you in 5 minutes. That's a shower.
That's why my cats were licking you when you came in then. They were very, very intrigued.
Yes, I was tasty. I was a nice mousel for them.
Props.
Thank you.
I'm actually looking it up right now to see if we can identify the animal that was hiding mice under rocks.
I'm also not 100% certain that one of the kids just didn't start killing mice in the field and bury them.
Okay, now that's really dark. This is just taking a huge turn.
Stupid.
I don't know, how do we move on? How do we bridge this moment that you've created?
When I put you in the mousetrap of having to watch the Fast and Furious movies. You're welcome.
It's a stretch, but so is a lot of this movie, so we'll make it work.
You have to, what is that term? Suspension of disbelief.
Take a leap of faith, suspension of disbelief. Yeah, that works. I mean, in the words of
Farouk?
No, I can't. Wait a minute. Okay, stop. What were you going to say in the words of Farouk?
No, just damn.
Damn. No, I was Max Landis is the name I was looking for. I couldn't remember at the time. Get ready because your suspension of disbelief is about to take a effing beating. And that brings us to Fast and Furious 6, or is it the Fast and the Furious 6?
Fast and Furious 6.
Fast and Furious 6. Okay.
I hate the naming. I did that last episode, but I hate the naming scheme of these movies.
Now that we've finally gotten to the film itself, it's time to ask an important question, Drew. A question we ask every single week.
What in the titillating trucks traversing with tanks does this have to do with professional wrestling?
That might be my favorite one. I think I got a little excited about that one. I liked it. Once again, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has returned for his role as Hobbs. Wow, what a difference.
They let him be The Rock.
They let him be The Rock in this, and it shows.
Justin Lin learned.
He is so much better in this. Way, way, way better.
Yes.
It's a shame he doesn't get to do more in this, to be honest with you. He feels like a side character, whereas he is, you're right. In the last film, it was definitely that he was the quasi-villain, so he had a little bit more to do. In this one, they decided, well, we need to bring The Rock back because he was clearly a big component of why people came out to see the last one. We want to keep those box office numbers up, so let's make sure he's in it. Maybe not necessarily put him in as much because he's not an important character to this story, to be honest with you.
You think they were focused on the story?
Well,
my assumption is that Rock had other things to do.
I'm trying to think of, like, from a writer's perspective or from the production perspective here, the writers of this story are going, we don't really have anything for him, but he's there to look cool. He's there for the one plot point, which is now Dom and his crew are going to be, we need to give them see, here's the thing. I know I'm kind of going all over this place. I will say this. At least it feels like in this movie, they have a purpose, which is twofold. They actually give them many reasons to do what they're doing in this one. The first one being that if you guys pull off this job, you get pardoned, which makes total sense, and it seems like the next step for those characters. Then they give Dom a very personal reason to do the job, which is Letty. Is it Letty? Letty, excuse me, Letty. Michelle Rodriguez.
She's not dead!
She's not dead! As we learned at the end of the last one, and when I say we learned, I mean all of us, including Michelle Rodriguez. She did not know that she was not dead until she watched Fast 5.
Contracts are great. It's like, well, I guess I got to do another movie with him. All right.
She's good in this.
She's great.
She's
just good in general.
I like Michelle Rodriguez overall as well. Everybody feels like they're doing better in this one. Even Vin Diesel is tolerable in this.
It's because they let him have like the major butt kicking scenes.
Oh yeah.
Like one of my favorite sequences of these movies is that bridge sequence with the tank.
Yes.
It is stupid,
yes,
over the top,
is.
And wonderful. He goes from one side of the highway to the other, hits a car, and stands up.
What an incredible stunt moment that is. Like, I will say this. Two things that I loved about the action scenes in this is that there were moments in this, although there are moments throughout the entire series where you could sit there and say, man, the stunt work. But because so much of these movies, especially these later ones, are practical, I just go, wow, the stunt work on these is absolutely insane. Here's the fun part. I also feel like this one is more realistic than the other one. Hear me out. Hear me out for a second, okay? I know what you're saying.
Could y'all just feel my face change when he said that?
Just wait for a second here. This is why I say this. So the scene where they've got the tank, because a tank, okay? Because a tank.
We're not even at the submarine yet.
No, we're not. But because the tank, they're dragging this car behind them, and they're like, "We got to lose the car," right? Okay. So, and then Dom's and the crew's goal then becomes get that car into the ravine because it will serve as an anchor and stop the tank. That's garbage. We know that's not really the case. However, I found that more believable than in the last movie where they crash into the bus flips 15 times, and the sports car does not have a scratch on it. I am willing, that is the biggest difference between Fast and Furious 6 and Fast 5, is that Fast and 6 is still ridiculous.
But it's an action movie. And it knows that it has to do the action part correctly.
It at least makes an effort to say, okay, ridiculous, implausible, yes, but there is a shred, a tiny, minuscule part of me that goes, maybe. And that's enough that is enough for me to suspend my disbelief, to say, I will buy it.
If there was any sort of way to perfectly describe the kayfabe of Lucha Underground, that is the way.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe the undead. Yeah, okay. Sure, dragon people. All right. Yeah. Man from space. Yeah, okay. Totally plausible. I can buy it. Yeah. The Fast and Furious movies are the Lucha Underground of film. I love that.
Oh, that's why I love it so much.
I bet Jeff DeHaan will love me saying that because he's a big fan of both. So, hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today. That is something that I wanted to bring up. I do feel like the filmmakers looked at this and said, we have to at least base this in some reality. We need to suspend their disbelief, but we don't want it to take a beating like it did in the last one.
They want to create a universe, create rules, and follow the rules.
Yeah, and it felt like they really did that in this one. I love the chase through London. See, like, this is what I mean. The chase through London comparatively to the police car chase through Rio, where they just had the 4 cars, there's nobody on the streets, and it's just dumb. It's so stupid. In this one, there's a purpose. They're trying to chase these guys down. There are cars on the street, which, by the way, makes the scene way better. The fact that they're in, like, souped up, hollowed out F1 racing cars doesn't, and see, and that's what I'm saying.
That flip.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, because they're like, yes, there are people here. Yes, they're moving around them. Yes, there's a purpose. When I see a hollowed out F1 racer do a flip like that, and like all the time, I'm like, I'll buy it. I will totally buy it. Because you gave me just a little bit of reality to base it in, I am willing to give you the rest of my disbelief. So when I watch the action scenes in Fast and Furious 6, I'm way more willing to go, yep, I'm along for the ride than I was in Fast 5. So huge improvement, probably the biggest improvement there, I would say.
Oh yeah, like, because they know what their niche is.
Aside from The Rock. The Rock is easily the biggest improvement because they let him be The Rock.
They let him be The Rock. Now, where it lacks in this one,
I got 2 words for you, and I feel bad because it's not his fault. Luke Evans.
Yeah. Because he's so good. Like,
Luke Evans is a great actor.
Yeah, not in this, but in general, he's good. And if you
he's
let
in Downton
him,
Abbey, is it Downton Abbey? He
I
was
couldn't
in?
tell you, buddy.
okay.
I haven't seen that one.
Sorry, it's a
all right.
TV show. It's British, but they are getting a movie. This year.
I know of it. My mother was a very big fan, and I survived the one Paul Giamatti episode. And I'm like, this is not for me.
I mean, honestly, if you've seen anything with Paul Giamatti in it, you've seen the best stuff.
Fair.
Paul Giamatti is like one of my favorites.
Although top brass Paul Giamatti, the top, big fat liar.
Also say Private Parts, just because I love him as a raging lunatic.
He was a blue-skinned, red-haired raging lunatic in Big Fat Liar.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Anyway, back to the point at hand.
Big Fat Liar is the Fast and Furious series of Paul Giamatti movies.
This episode just should be titled Comparisons. So, Luke Evans is a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
They just don't let him be Luke Evans. They want him to be the stoic bad guy.
He's so boring.
He's so generic, and it's unfortunate.
He's so boring.
So boring. But that actually kind of ties into the major problem of this movie for me.
Okay.
The characters.
All right. I'll bite. Go for it.
I don't care.
Okay.
So
that's funny to me because I felt like I cared about these characters more in this one than I did the last one.
Yeah, but then we get to more interesting development later on. I guess because I have the rose-colored glasses of the future of what I enjoy. Whereas with this one, it's just like soap opera drama.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, to be fair, the central personal plot line of this film is about a love interest coming back from the dead.
With amnesia.
It is literally written out of a telenovela or a soap opera.
Exactly. And the thing is, what they do at the end with Letty sets up nice for the future. It's just with that right there, with Dom just still being Dom, no real development. Even, I can't remember her name. Brian and Dom's sister.
Dom's sister, that's fine. Yes,
cool.
I agree. I don't know.
Dom's sister, I mean, they get a little bit, but not a lot. And that's unfortunate.
Now, here's the question, though. Is that because, and let's address the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about yet, this is the movie where Paul Walker passed away in the middle of production of it.
No, that's 7.
That's 7?
Yeah.
I thought that was this one.
No.
Okay, then never mind. It's just bad writing. Go.
Yeah, it's bad writing.
Sorry,
that's the thing.
go.
They didn't have a development there. There's no development between Han and Gal Gadot. Like,
Well,
they're just...
not that it really matters for Han by the end of this.
Yeah, or Gal.
Should we talk about the busted timeline?
Not yet. Because I just want to finish off my character thing. Nobody gets correct development. They're all just there doing stuff. It's about doing stuff, not the reason behind them doing it. Yeah, you say the amnesty to get themselves pardoned, but that's pretty much built up, click, done in the first 30 minutes. Like,
I can't argue with that.
It's just so...
It's Dom's story and then everybody else.
Yeah, just everyone's along for the ride, pun intended.
Sure. Yeah. I agree with that. Although, to be fair, I don't know that I would want, a whole big backstory for not Ludacris.
Not...
He's still not Ludacris to me.
Still not Ludacris.
Still not Ludacris.
But it doesn't have to be a lot. Like when Becky Lynch got hit with the End of Days during Extreme Rules and Seth lost his mind.
Yeah.
That was a slow little bit of storytelling, a slow little bit of character development that got you invested to see what the character would do next.
I'm really glad that they followed up on that, by the way.
Didn't they? But that's the thing. You are interested at that moment to continue on. Yeah. This movie doesn't do that. It doesn't get you... You don't care about why the characters are doing it. You're caring about the action that's happening on screen.
I wonder if it's like a Star Wars thing.
Explain.
Okay, because episode 7, J.J. Abrams has said that 7, 8, and 9 all relate to each one of the original 4, 5, trilogy. No. 7, 8, 9. No, new ones.
Yeah, they're relating back to 4, 5, 6.
Not so much. What he's saying is, basically what he said is 7 is Han's story.
Oh, I see.
8 is Luke's story. 9 is supposed to be Leia's story. Right? I wonder if they had a simple or a similar idea with this in that, like, okay, 6 is going to be Dom's story, him and Letty. And then 7 was maybe meant for Paul Walker and his character. And then maybe, because you said that the idea was to end it at 7. 7 was supposed to be the last one, right? Originally?
Originally before
5.
It made all the money.
Yeah. So maybe at that point, once they realized, we made all the money, maybe they said, okay, let's craft this into a series, and each one of these movies will focus more so on each of these people, kind of thing. And then they just realized that, okay, we're adding new characters that are more popular than the original ones. Screw those guys then. Let's just focus on these ones.
It got us interested.
You're not wrong about it. So, yeah.
Just this movie didn't help with that. That's my major pro. Action is phenomenal in this.
Excellent.
Major con, the characters are bland as heck.
Yeah, God. Luke Evans is so boring. He just you're right.
Because you know what Luke Evans is. We know the caliber that he is at. It's just
he's a throwaway bad guy.
They don't. And then
I forgot he was in this movie. Yeah. And when I heard Shaw, I was like, I didn't think Jason Statham showed up until the end of this one. That was my thought when I heard the name Shaw.
Yep. And that's the idea, because they call him Shaw, and then he dies, and then Jason Statham comes in, and for some reason they just keep calling him Shaw. Like, that's not confusing as hell.
Speaking of Jason Statham coming in.
Speaking of confusing as hell.
Let's talk about the timeline. Oh. So this movie ends, unless you want to postpone this even longer and talk about the submarine and the plane.
No.
It's just awesome. That's all we have to say about it. It's awesome.
They do the Legion of Doom electric chair clothesline.
Yes, they do.
Gal Gadot just kind of like, whoops, there's her out of there.
It's
Sorry,
amazing.
I didn't mean to curse.
That's all right. I'll mark it down.
It is, unfortunately, this movie brings out the worst in me. And the best. Somehow, and that's what I do on the show.
Somehow it happens the worst and the best. I don't know how, but...
Sorry.
There it is.
I just read your document.
Oh, yeah.
Just random timestamps of F word, S word, F, 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 S, S, F, F.
For those of you who are listeners to The Wrestling Show, you probably heard part one of my interview with James Stone, who will be at Fighting Back on August the 16th. He did curse a little bit in the interview, so I have to go and censor it a little bit.
Oh, that's fantastic. Sorry, that's fantastic. That's like my memoir right there.
I wish I could take a picture of it and put it up on our website, but it's not family friendly, so I'm not going to do that.
It's just timestamps and censor bars.
Right.
Okay. What was I talking about before that? Incredible thing just happened.
You were talking about
Gal Gadot just whoops herself out of there.
Yeah.
And the whole sequence there runs a little long. Mm-hmm. For realism's sake, I should say.
Sure, yes.
But at the same time, you don't care.
No, because you're too enthralled by the action that's going on there. It's actually very engaging. Mm-hmm. So once that happens, right, credits roll. Yep. Everybody's happy, right?
Then
for the most part.
For the most part. And then we cut to Han Solo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. We're in Tokyo.
For some reason.
And
all the fans are like, wait, what?
And it's Tokyo Drift.
When we get, what was it, a text message? Or
3 movies ago.
Yeah. To which Han crashes.
Right.
And it's because of the one best part of this. Because at that point, you're confused as all heck, trying to figure out the timeline, what's going on. And then Jason Statham shows up and you're like, I'm in. I do not care what's happening next. Yes. You
are absolutely right, actually. That was my reaction when I saw this in theaters was, they're bringing on Statham for the next one. Cool. All right. And then I proceeded to not watch it. So.
He do goo.
He do good. Well, we'll see goo next week then, I guess. Goo! So, anyway. Let's try to explain this then. How does the timeline of Fast and Furious go?
Okay, so first one happens. It's the first time these characters meet.
Okay, so Fast and Furious 1 is first, chronologically.
Chronologically. Then it is Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay.
All right.
So right now we're in order.
We're in order.
Okay.
Okay, then the next thing that happens is 4.
So we skip Tokyo Drift.
Skip Tokyo Drift. Okay. So at this point, Dom is just run away from the law. He's hiding. And Brian, have you seen Too Fast, Too Furious?
No.
Brian is like, his boss is like, ooh, you let him go. But he's not fired, so it's weird.
He's just in trouble.
And that's when they bring on Ty Biggs. Or Diggs. What is his name?
Yeah, Tay Diggs.
Cool. Ty Diggs. That's when they bring him in and try and make him, And
is this the one with Ludacris or not Ludacris?
Actual Ludacris.
Actual Ludacris.
Rapper Ludacris.
Real Ludacris. At real Ludacris.
At real Ludacris. Okay, so they do their adventure. It is really pointless and stupid and not in a good way.
Right.
Then the 4th movie happens where they all just kind of meet up again.
Okay.
It's not explained why, not explained how. They just do. Mm-hmm. And then we continue chronologically until 6.
So really the confusing part of it is just basically they just moved 3.
Yeah, the 3, just take it out and move it across.
So if you wanted to watch these in actual timeline order, you'd watch them 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6.
Yes. But even then, it's not that entertaining because when you watch Tokyo Drift, you're still wondering, why am I watching this?
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily make it. There's nothing in Tokyo Drift that would would actually mess up the timeline.
It's where Han shows up.
Okay.
But the thing
is... So wait a minute. So he simultaneously shows up and dies in this...
So technically, the character Han is first introduced timeline-wise in 4.
Okay.
As somebody that Dom met when he was escaping the law.
Oh, all right.
That's how he becomes part of the family. We don't actually get...
The
family. I'm the father.
Okay,
we don't actually get his introduction into the family. It's just Vin Diesel approves of him, so everyone's like, cool.
All right. Now, Vin Diesel, does he make an appearance in Tokyo Drift?
Yeah. And
okay, so now this is my question then. How does that fit into the timeline?
So after 4,
right?
After 5, they're away from the law again. So that's why he's in Tokyo, because he can't be in America, and he's trying to find his home.
Right.
And he gets a call from Han to say, I need a favor.
Okay.
So that's when he comes in to replace a racer that has been kicked out.
Now, the call that he gets from Dom, does that happen in the movie in Tokyo Drift?
No.
Okay. So
that's explained later in later movies when they discuss Han as, the one that died.
Okay.
Like, he needed my help. I was there.
So Tokyo Drift technically has no connections to any of the other movies except for Dom.
Except for Dom and Han.
Han is in Tokyo Drift.
Han is the protagonist.
He's the main character of Tokyo Drift.
No. He is the protagonist's second half.
Oh,
our protagonist is a horrible character.
Okay.
A guy who does a horrible Southern accent.
Right.
I wish I could remember the actor's name, because he's been good in other things. It's just
bad in this. Okay.
But Han is kind of there as like this side piece.
Right.
And then he calls Vin Diesel for help, and then for some reason Han's in the next one because Asian audience. Really, that's it. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to do. Because I think we're already past our 30-minute mark,
probably
for the free listeners, we're going to table this, and we're going to come back to this once we get to the patron half of it.
Okay.
Because I feel like this needs further, deeper exploration for me.
Sure.
So let's quickly give our overall ratings for the film. We'll wrap it up, and then we'll get back to it on the patron side. So that should give you guys enough reason to head over to patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca right now and sign up for our tiers. If you didn't know, we have different tiers, anywhere from $2 to $20. So we put a few ducats in the bucket, and you'll hear this second half where Drew and I are about to go into different timelines. I'm going to bring up the idea of multiple universes because I feel like that could maybe play into this somehow. We're also going to talk about some fun facts about the film as well as some ratings, what the critics thought of it, all the usual stuff that our patrons get over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. So go support us financially that way right now to get that second half. Drew, what did you think of the film overall? What's your rating?
It's a high mid card because I want to compare it to John Wick.
Okay. I've never seen John Wick. I know. I've been meaning to watch those movies and digest them all at once, and I just don't have the time to, so I apologize. But I want to see them really bad. They're on my list.
They are fight choreography storytelling.
Yeah, and that's why I want to see them.
They're dope, but that's the thing. The action,
plus I love Keanu.
The action tells the story, but at the same time, they give the characters enough that you give a cred about the characters themselves.
Yeah.
So John Wick is how you do action pretty perfectly.
And you feel that way about this.
This Fast and Furious movie tries that. But you just don't care about the characters. The action is engaging, and it does help tell a story, but you just don't care who's in the action scenes.
Yeah.
Right? Because John Wick gets stabbed in like the first little part of a fight, and throughout the fight, he has to the actor Keanu Reeves has to fight like he's been stabbed. Like he can't do his high kicks, he can't stretch one way.
Sure.
He's got to sell the stab wound.
It's realistic.
Yeah. Whereas when Vin Diesel hits a car and gets right back up, so all right.
I believe that Vin Diesel's indestructible. He is Groot
at this point. But it's
his career certainly is.
It is an enjoyable wreck where you're watching it it's a wreck at a theme park. It looks
horrifying.
It looks awesome. People will have died, but at the same time, no one's actually in there, so no one died.
Oh no, definitely people died. Character-wise, that tank. That was one of the things I forgot to mention. When that tank was going through that bridge and crushing cars left and right, I was like, "Oh my god!"
So much death.
Give it to Luke Evans on that one. That was the one time he wasn't boring, but he was just literally just massacring people on this highway. Pretty awesome stuff.
But yeah, it's a high mid. It's enjoyable.
I agree. I do recommend people check this one out and at least give it a chance. If someone was to say to me, Fast and Furious 6 is my favorite movie of all time, I could believe them because there is a lot to love about this movie. And the stuff that is really good about this movie is most of this movie. Like, most of this movie is action set pieces. And if you're just a person that loves action set pieces, this could be your favorite movie of all time, and I would totally understand why. Obviously, it's not mine. I need a little bit more character development, a little more story. But I will say this. I had a good time watching this one, and this is the second time I watched it. I enjoyed it just as much the second time as I did the first time. And if someone was to sit down and put this on, I'd probably stick around and watch this one. I couldn't say that about 5. So I will give this one a mid-card. It's not a main event for me, but it's a good, solid mid-card. You should check this one out. Okay, we're going to wrap things up here. We're already behind time. We're running long just like these movies. That's another thing. These movies did not need to be as long as they were.
No.
But again, when you're stuffing them with like submarine and airplane tanks and a legion of, it's good. I don't mind. I don't care. So hopefully we have stuffed it with as much good stuff as Justin Lin did with this movie. Next week, Drew, 7.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Okay. This might be my nostalgia goggles. I've seen this movie 3 times in the span of a year, and I think it's been 5 years since it came out, maybe more. But I haven't seen it in a while, so maybe it's not as good as I remember, but I remember it being very good.
I'm excited to see it because, like I said, I liked 6 and I liked 8. So I'm hoping that 7 continues the trend. Before we go and see that next week, though, we want you to sign up for our newsletter over at WrestleMedia.ca. It's free. Every week you'll get the latest news and information, some of the best podcasts and moments from our week that was in WrestleMedia, as well as some exclusive contests. There may be one waiting for all of you newsletter subscribers this Sunday, so go sign up right now and check that out for free at WrestleMedia.ca. If you want to help us out, can't throw a few ducats in the bucket, no problem. Share the podcast, rate and review it. Give us 5 stars over at iTunes. We would appreciate that. Let everyone know that likes movies, that likes wrestling, likes movies about wrestling, and guys who like talking about movies about wrestling, or just movies that have stuff to do with wrestling. This is the podcast for you. Drew, anything else before we sign up for our free listeners?
No, I think you've covered it all.
Well, thanks very much. Patrons, stick around. We got more time travel talk coming up in the second half. In the meantime, thank you very much for listening. On behalf of WrestleMedia, I'm Adam Kota.
That's Sir F.
And when it comes to the Fast and Furious 6, that's a wrap.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything.
Here's what you're missing out on right now over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.
So, Tokyo Drift happens.
Right.
All right. Up until the final scene with Vin Diesel. No,
Yes.
wait. Sorry. Let me do that again. Tokyo Drift ends. Vin Diesel, they race. Whee! We're having fun. Okay, separate ways. Boop. They go their separate ways, and then they come back for 4 because they got stuff they need to do.
Okay.
So they do their 4 thing. They do
Right.
their 5 thing.
Right.
They do their 6 thing.
Right.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
Hang
because
on.
that means Han would have to come back.
Hang
He'd have to
on.
come back to
No.
Tokyo.
Hang on. Shoot. Okay. So after the events of... Jesus.
Want more? Sign up now at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.